Welcome to r/malicious compliance, where we share stories of people conforming to the letter, but not the spirit of request. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: threaten to cut my work hours and then expect me to help out in a pinch? It won't be that easy. The second story: boss is angry with me, told me to stay in my own lane and just do nursing work. Told them okay. The third story: the support person didn't want to delete my account because I didn't have the last 4 characters of the document. On to the first story. No flexibility in switching hours? That goes both ways. I was working for a large hotel chain at the time, working 3-day shifts at the front desk week and 2 night shifts a week to get my full-time hours. Previously, I had only been working days, but our property had struggled to keep consistent part-time overnight employees since I started working there. So I initially stepped into that role to help out, but then just kinda stuck with it. You do get paid $1 more per hour to work overnight, and generally the nights were pretty quiet. So after about a year serving in that role, I started really feuding with my general manager. We did not see eye to eye, but that's another story. In the end, I told her I was through working the overnight shifts and that she'd better start looking for a replacement, knowing it'd be a pain to fill that slot. She told me that's fine, but she wouldn't need anyone else during the days full-time, so I'd be relegated to part-time hours. After thinking it over, I couldn't lose my benefits, so I conceded. Now, it just so happens that we were understaffed at the front desk. Not only that, but we were approaching a busy time of year, and I was the most senior front desk associate, and also just generally most comfortable with the computer system. So being a busy time, management wanted to put me on all-day shifts to handle the crowds of people we'd see during the day, compared to overnight, which, like I mentioned, were usually pretty quiet. So without speaking to me, they worked out that one of our still inexperienced employees would get my 2 overnights a week, and I would switch to all days temporarily, and thus would not get my extra pay from working overnights. That overnight rate would go to the less experienced employee whose shifts I was supposed to cover. So I went to my GM and told her my understanding from our previous conversation was that I am not full-time day shifts, as that offer was off the table, and that I require 2 night shifts per week per our employee agreement. Financially, I could not support anything less as well, since I budget my expenses based on what I'm supposed to be paid. More or less BS, but who is she to say otherwise? I told her I'd be happy to cover those day shifts, but I would need to be paid over my night rate. Well, she wasn't having it, so she ended up speaking with a colleague about it, who agreed with my logic over hers, and suggested offering me a $100 Visa gift card to placate the situation. So I accepted, but was very clear that this was not an indefinite scenario, and that the following week I would require my 2 overnights. Or I thought I was clear. Well, lo and behold, the GM ignores that and schedules me all day shifts again. So again, I tell her that's not what we had agreed and I couldn't work those shifts. I offered to give the gift card back if it was supposed to be some payday advance. I'd rather earn my agreed upon weekly rate than accept this strings attached gift card offer. And I followed it up by offering to take 2 days off as vacation time to ensure I'm earning my expected weekly wage that week. Again, she was not having it and a fight ensued. She ended up going to our regional manager, her boss, about it this time, who to my surprise also agreed with me. He told her to pay me my overnight rate and be done with it. Now it gets better, and I didn't find this out right away because I wasn't even paying attention. Our finance ladies in the corporate office are sticklers, to the point where if I did not work the overnight shift, they would not be okay fudging the books to pay me my overnight rate. So the regional manager upped my entire hourly rate to my overnight rate, giving me a $1 raise on day shifts, all because I was a major pain in the A to my GM and refused to work with her. Sometimes being a D pays off. It seems to me that you have high hopes for the integrity of most businesses. They will and clearly already are doing illegal crap when they can to get away with it. The damage from understaffing during rush hours far exceeds the cost of $1 extra an hour. I also want to say the same thing about the gift card. That gift card should count as salary paid to you by the corporation. If you return the gift card, make sure it's not counted as wages. Either way, you should talk to the finance ladies, let them know about the gift card, and tell them that you're just making sure it's done correctly. No one should be paying anyone with gift cards unless it's a Christmas bonus or something, and it still comes as a paycheck. Financiers would like to know who spends corporate money on gift cards, how much they spend, and who the money goes to. It smells like secret payments. The next story is, want me to only be the nurse? Okay, find someone else to work as a DSP. So this happened just recently. I work in a nurse group home and we have DSPs. Those not familiar, direct support professional equals caregivers. I'm a nurse there. I'll give some chain of command and title explanations first. If you're familiar with the group home dynamics or just don't care, feel free to skip down a few paragraphs. The hiring manager is also the manager of the house managers, so I'll call them the boss. The administrator is the main boss, so I'll call them the grand boss. Chain of command is DSP, coordinator, house manager, boss, grand boss. Nurse, charge nurse, grand boss. Okay, now that we have that, I'll share my MC. I went to have a conversation with boss and grand boss about a medication issue at a house. That conversation led to a somewhat heated conversation about a different house that boss is the temporary house manager of. Boss is angry at several of us because a coordinator quit recently, and boss feels we, nursing and another staff, ran them off. Said coordinator was not following any of the things they were taught when they were trained. Mostly on my part, doctor's orders regarding nutrition and exercise, as well as several other things. They were awful and gaslighting us and regular staff, trying to control every aspect, not working as part of the team, etc. Since a boss can't really punish the rest of the staff they're angry with, they're targeting and punishing, trying at least, me. During the conversation, boss tells me stay in my lane, do the nursing role and nothing else. I said okay, fine, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you only want me to be the nurse, then do not ask me to be a DSP. That's not my role. It is in my scope of practice to do. I won't be picking up shifts. We are severely short-staffed and all of us have been working in houses as DSPs. Because of this and a few other things, none of us are now. Fallout. Boss, who is salary and doesn't get OT, has to now work shifts including this weekend that the rest of us were willing to work, as well as doing their own job with no extra pay. Bonus. Grand boss never said a word during this whole thing, just sat back and listened. However, the next day I stopped to apologize for getting so upset. I was so angry I cried, and they stopped me, gave me a hug, which totally shocked me, and told me I was a good nurse and did a good job and care for my client. However, I did have a few things I could work on. I agreed. We all have things to work on. Either grand boss is genuine, or is terrified I will leave and they'll have to find another nurse. I'm leaning more towards the latter. He's usually not that nice. Anyhow, they lost having 4 staff that would pick up empty shifts, and are just standing back to watch the fallout of boss's actions. The great boss is scared. What they did wasn't good. Didn't you think it was like another manipulation? It would be nice to just remind you that you're a good nurse, feeling the need to make you feel guilty by pretending to comfort you. Nurses walking away from bad managers is the end of the story. There's too much demand right now to be treated badly, as some managers insist. I've worked in a hospital and I know what I'm talking about. If they're starting to gaslight you and it's impacting your professional integrity, get the hell out of there. You're the only professional nurse for them all. Understaffing and limited support from management is a rotten mix. Apply for other roles. Get a job and go where you'll be supported. Gaslighting can hurt your confidence, the confidence you need in an emergency. Gaslighting causes self-doubt, which can seriously affect patient care. The last story is account deletion procedure. Once a year or so, I go through my password manager to see if I have any registered accounts online that I'm no longer using. If I find any, then I go to the site and delete them. Usually it's either a simple matter of logging in, going to account settings or equivalent, and clicking the delete account link, or sending an email from the registered email to the site's support email address. That being said, yesterday I encountered a rather difficult one. I won't name and shame, that's not the point of this post. Anyway, I logged into one of the accounts I wanted to delete to search for an automated way of deleting it. I couldn't find any, so I went and searched through their FAQ. There was just one sentence telling users to contact their support via email. Fair enough. So I sent an email from my registered email address, stating that I'd like my account deleted. I was expecting the usual, "We're sorry to see you go. Can you tell us why you're leaving before you go?" But instead they required some additional verification. Also not unreasonable, mostly since the site has something to do with finances. The email exchange goes down like this. Direct copy-paste to the relevant bits anonymized. Support person. Thank you for reaching out. We're sorry to see you go. Can you please tell us the reason for closing your account and if we could do anything to change this? Me. Hi, support person's name. I no longer require services provided by company. Thank you, my name. Support person. In order to authenticate you, we would need you to provide us with the following information. 1. The last 4 digits of the phone number currently linked. 2. The last 4 characters of the ID document used upon registration. Uh-oh, potential problem. When registering to sites working with finances, one usually has to provide some form of state-issued ID upon registration. Problem is, I've registered onto that site a while ago, and the ID card I've used has expired some months ago. In my country, when your ID card is up for renewal, you get a new one, while giving the expired one back and it gets destroyed. So there was no way for me to know the numbers from it. I tried explaining that and provided some additional verification information only the account holder could know, but procedure is procedure, I guess. Me. Phone number's last digits are ABCD. My state-issued ID card is expired since registration and was renewed, which means I no longer have the old card, and I'm unable to see the numbers on it. I can provide the account identifier from my profile page, code. Note this is not visible in the URL or anywhere publicly. Support person. We're unable to proceed without the full verification, so we'll need the last 4 digits of your registered document as well. Me. The state-issued ID has been securely destroyed when the new one was issued, on renewal. It does not exist anymore, and therefore I'm unable to read you the numbers from it. Since you have a photo of it, you can check the expiry date on it yourself. Support person. We do have a copy of the document photo you sent us, and the verification process requires that you give us the last 4 digits of this document's number, so that we can authenticate you. At this point, I was beginning to get a bit frustrated, but stayed polite. It's not the support person's fault their company has policies or what they are. I understand the need for verification, but isn't it kinda unreasonable to base it on something that users probably won't have in the future? Anyway, a few more emails back and forth. I propose the following. Me. Since all the other data and more is correct, note, I referencing to the account identifier and some other personal information I've given in the past couple of emails. If you prefer, I can send 10,000 unique emails with different state IDs numbers. One of them will be correct and include all requested information. It's fairly easy for me to do this automatically. Support person. Thank you for the reply. We will be expecting your verification. Okay, game on. I understood that message as, oh, please go ahead. We'd love to see you try. So I opened my favorite IDE and wrote a little program, which sends emails using the same text, but counting from 000 to 99999 for the state's ID's number. The whole code took approximately 20 minutes to write, and was incredibly satisfying to do so. Hi, I would like my company account deleted, as I no longer require services offered. Registered email, my email. Account identifier. Last 4 digits of linked phone, ABCD. Last 4 digits of my now expired state-issued ID probably were, counter going from 000 to 99999. Thank you, my name. I copied the script over to my Raspberry Pi, small computer, which is online 24/7, and set the script to send an email every 10 minutes. I realized it would take a long time for all the emails to go through, but I was being careful not to get banned from sending emails, nor did I want to outright spam the company. So email with ID 0000 goes out, nothing. ID 0001 goes out, nothing. But after email with ID 0002, the third email sent, I got a reply. A new support person. Hello, my name. We've put up your account for closure. It'll be closed in the following 30 days, and you'll be notified once the process is complete. Ref ID, some request ID. I think the person processing my request and stopped the script from sending any further emails. Somewhere inside me, I was a bit sad that this show ended so soon. I was hoping just a bit that it would go on for some time. Also, I'm 100% certain that 0002 was not the correct number. If it were something that simple, I'd remember. Best I can recall, it was something in 6000 to 6999 range, but I might be way off. I like that you didn't want to directly spam the company, but still sent 1 email every 10 minutes. That's the best part. I had the same problem. I asked them what would you tell a customer who had a credit account in Maine. They didn't have Maine branches. They quickly authenticated me after the supervisor intervened. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.